Hey guys. So, the question, are we in a dating apocalypse? Is the concept that once was a romantic relationship completely over? Are women only good enough for one thing? Is there no longer a reason or purpose for men? Should you invest in kitty litter? With the amount of people telling women they're gonna end up being old cat ladies, maybe you should, especially if the women cave in and give in to that advice. Slow down, slow down. We're saying the weird thing, and the topic I've been discussing lately is the dating apocalypse. Should you just give up on your desires for true love and a connection? Is the dream coming to an end? Yeah, no, not yet, but I can see why you certainly feel like you're in a dating apocalypse. The landscape right now feels like a war zone. And the prize isn't romantic love, but control over the actions of another human. You haven't had a great run with the opposite sex. It seems like people are only focused on either money or their libido. It feels like people aren't seeking partners. Not anymore. More like notches on their belt. Bragging rights. Validation from audiences that love human suffering, maybe? Oh yes, in this modern day, people are not only proud of their body count, which shouldn't matter, but of their victim count? Yikes. That's like something you hear about only in a crime show. The task of finding a mate has become so laborious that the skills required to find a good person are numerous. You need access to the FBI database. An amazing detective you need to be. A psychic, a lie detector, a chemist to do hair strand analysis, of course. You need to be a doctor because now your pH balance has been completely annihilated. Meanwhile, your opponent is doing their recon on your relationship wants so they can pretend to be that person. Just a ploy to get behind enemy lines and to get that, well, you know what lives down south. I digress. If you don't see the war in everything I just described, you're either born extremely lucky or not interested in romantic relationships altogether. And I completely understand 100%. No, I'm not bitter. I'm simply an observer of human behavior and the current discourse that's happening right now. I'm listening to both sides. The desire for quality connections, it's high, but should you even enter the dating pool altogether? And how in the world do you find a quality connection in this environment? To top it off, people are yelling at you to pick better and choose better as if a natural born liar doesn't exist. And you're bound to run into one or 20. Well, for starters, realize that heterosexual relationships are in a period of reflection right now. These relationships, which happen to be the loudest in the dating apocalypse right now, they have ironically hit a wall. And both parties, men and women, are finally realizing it. Few families are being created, low birth rates, women choosing the bear, some men strangely choosing lizards. Don't ask. But what these arguments tell me is that both men and women want to do something about it. They just can't agree on what to do. Well, from the inside, looking around, the action of change seems like it's up for debate. Now, who collectively should change, what they should change, why they should change it, it all needs to be answered, addressed, and agreed upon and placed into action. The main problem is that change is difficult and it will need accountability and self-reflection in order for the process to take place. And this is just one of the many things I have observed about the dating apocalypse. And I will make more videos. It's just too large of a discussion for this video. But in the meantime, If one is seeking love, what should one do? Be very patient. And I'm not kidding. You're going to need to meet and greet a lot of people. You need to vet them thoroughly. You're going to run into all sorts of people. The not serious, the scammer, the hurt and not healed, the self-saboteur, because they're scared of abandonment and haven't addressed their past issues. The insecure, the slightly reformed player, but not really. Finding a person who is healed and ready to date for the purpose of monogamy could be a very long journey, and you need to be mentally prepared for that. More importantly, you need to prepare your heart for it so that you're not affected and become one of those bitter people who folks have been warning you about. A bitter person has a much higher rate of eliminating their chances of finding a good person, so don't become that person. You will need to adopt a commitment to heal after every disappointment, because a hurt person will just place that hurt onto the next person, and you will treat them unfairly and cruelly and thus create more hurt people. You want to be realistic, okay? You want to open your heart to all the opportunities and give yourself some grace. The journey to finding love will not only be not perfect, it's just not a fairy tale. It's real life. There are real problems, real world situations, all sorts of things to deal with. I also want you, Black women specifically, to open up your options wide. Black women simply outnumber Black men, and there isn't enough of them who desire Black women for all of us to have that ideal king. And they know that. They definitely use it to their advantage. I don't condone it, but why wouldn't they use their statistical advantage against you? Think like them for a second. Of course they would. And Black women, you have lifted the value of Black men so high with your 5-star reviews of them collectively. And you have done it so much and so passionately that other races of women took notice and began to trust your reviews. It's only now we're starting to see changes happening and those reviews are wavering. But think about it without emotion. If the tables were turned, wouldn't you take all the advantages afforded you? Ma'am, the only person you should be exclusive to is you. Let love find you wherever you are in the world. Go where you're most appreciated by whomever. In the end, no matter what you do, who you do it with, remember to trust yourself and your instincts above all else. There is a reason your spirit is screaming no. So listen and be safe. Your safety above all else matters most. Good luck, lovers. As always, thriving is achievable, and I'll help you get there.